Hey, what's good, Walking Dead fans? This is the Campfire Crew, and we're here to talk about The Walking Dead. What is this? Episode what?
10.
10. Not a whole lot of different stuff went down, but a lot of big stuff went down, and we're here to talk about it. I'm Campfire Rich.
I'm Campfire Nate, and yeah, it was a lot calmer than what we got last week. I mean, maybe this is just to kind of calm us down a little bit. Last week was pretty intense. But yeah, this was probably the first moment that I want to talk about. My favorite moment was the fact that they did kind of a time jump a little bit. I mean, 2 months ahead from where we left them. Mm-hmm. We don't want to watch them clean up a bunch of dead bodies. We don't want to watch them, building walls up. I mean, we get that. We know they're going to do that. They gave us the, Carl's feeling better. I like the little scene where you got to see a little picture, and it was him with already got the patch over his eye. Just kind of skip ahead. Let's just go ahead and move on into what's coming, and I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it was good that we continue on the story to start the next chapter of what's going to happen with this group. I thought it was interesting their use of music. I thought it just showed a bit of normality, right? Like this is their life. They've accepted it. They're trying to rebuild here. Everybody's in high spirits and laughing and cutting up. And Rick's like, let's save everybody. And we're playing music down the road, cutting up with Daryl. And I'm not sure, but I feel like we've only heard music a few times. Like maybe when they was back at the prison and they was growing crops and they felt like things were going good. And it might not have been music. It might have been when that girl was singing. I know she would sing a lot. Mm-hmm. But if they do it, everything hits the fan not long after that because we all know it's not going to stay normal for long.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a calm before the storm.
Yeah,
episode.
For sure. But I don't know. That's kind of where we are in the story. They moved on to 4 so we can keep this thing rolling. My favorite scene number 2, Jesus. We've been talking about him. We predicted on the last episode that we would get him this episode, and that was who Rick and them was pointing their guns at, and we was right. Man, Nate, how awesome was it the way they introduced his character and every interaction that they had with him?
I mean, it was great because he's obviously, the dude's paying attention. He knows what they're at. He runs into them. Oh, no, they're coming. Right off the bat, everything he set up was a ruse. Mm-hmm. He ran into him to take the keys. He sat there, he talked to him, then he was like, hey, I got to go. Hey, this is who I am. Right. I thought it was interesting. They changed his last name in the show. Than it is in the comics. In the comics, it's Paul Monroe. I think in the show, it was like Paul Rovia or something like that. Yeah. The reason why I believe they did that is because you do have Monroe as in Deanna Monroe and her son Spencer and all this kind of stuff. I feel like they probably said, hey, we're going to change the name because we don't want people to be confused and think that they're related in some way because they're not.
Right.
So I guess maybe that's the reason why they changed the name. Even still, it's not that big of a deal. The fact that they introduced him, I love the scene where he's like, my friends call me Jesus, and he's standing there, with his arms out.
Yeah.
Then he bolts. And it's funny because it happened so fast. You got Rick and you got Daryl just kind of like trying to ask him the questions that they used to, and he caught him off guard. They're like, how many people you got? How many zombies have you killed? How many people? And he's just like, I got to go, bye.
Yeah.
And he leaves, and then he sets the firecrackers off, and they're like, what is it? They go around the corner. And it's great because he totally played them. And they realize it's too late. But he played them, man. He played them, and it was hilarious. He takes off, and he's gone before. And they're left just standing there just like, are you kidding me? Did we just get, completely played by this guy?
Yeah, he put the hoodwink on him. And then Daryl and Rick, man, they run a marathon. They track this dude down, and they jump up on him. And even then when they think they have him, he beats the snot out of him.
Yeah,
basically.
I mean, we said it in our video about who Jesus was.
Right.
Okay, if you don't know, you want to go back and you watch that video. But this guy is, he's smart. He's a very smart dude. He's very tactical. He knows what he's doing. The dude is unbelievable hand-to-hand combat. The dude literally whooped the crap out of Rick and Daryl with guns. They have guns. He doesn't. He whooped the crap out of them in that moment. The dude's smart.
Yeah, he's always calm. They tied him up several times. My wife's time was like, oh, you think he's tracking him? When they left him on the side of the road, I said, he's probably on the car. They tie him up. He immediately gets out, gets on the car. Then they get him out in this field. He's running like flag football routes, trying to get away from Daryl. Like the whole scene was just kind of funny. But the whole scene with Jesus, all of it, we really enjoyed and liked it. Moving on to favorite scene number 3, and it was a whole deal with Spencer and his mom, and the deal with Michonne and Carl out in the woods. All of that ended up being, at first I thought was whatever, time filler. Turns out to be pretty significant later on in the episode.
Yeah, it's kind of like you kind of wondering what's the deal with Carl. It's obvious that Carl's, he's still dealing with the fact that he lost an eye. I mean, come on. He's kind of, having this kind of a teen, angst. I don't feel good. I'm gonna get away from people, kind of thing. I mean, that's kind of what he's doing. He wants to be away from him. He's taking his friend Enid with him, and it's even funny because now even he's getting too dark for her. She's like, I think we need to go back. And he's like, then go back, know? But basically the whole reason why Spencer's out there is because he believes he had saw his mom wandering around the woods. Carl runs into her, and then it blows Enid away because Enid's like, what are you doing? And he's trying to lead her to them. And they do. Spencer puts her down. There's kind of a warm moment there where he does that, and Michonne is there with him, and they bury her. But the interesting thing about it, I thought, was the fact that, Carl, as messed up as Carl has gotten from the injury and that it might be affecting him a little bit, he still realizes that this is someone's mom.
Right.
And it's almost a moment between, and him thinking back to when he had to put Lori down. This was someone's mom. It needs to be someone that loves her to put him down. And he explains that to Michonne. I thought that was really neat. I liked that a lot.
It was good. It kind of connected all three of them. Michonne's out there, chasing down Spencer. Spencer soon realizes, like, hey, there's people here that care for me. He realized that Michonne's not backing up, that she cares for him. He realized that Carl understands him and helps him out by leading his mom to him. And so that solidifies Spencer. Now Michonne and Carl have this moment. All this breaks down Michonne to set up what happens later. Moving on to my favorite moment, number 4. And I like how they made no big deal about the fact they lost a whole truck full of food.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it went down, and like, you say it went down into the water, and they're just like, all right, well, what do we do now?
It's not like they even get back. When they get back to camp, like they don't even tell nobody. They got Jesus. They kind of tie him up, and him and Michonne's talking, and they're kind of laughing like, yeah, it was just another day. We had a whole truck full of food that probably could have saved our lives later, but whatever. We'll go out tomorrow. And again, going back to just, this is a normal way of life. They've been through so much. That's actually not even out of the ordinary. Not even a big deal. It's like, whatever.
Like, yeah, we found somebody and we lost a truck of food.
Which moves us into...
no one died. So that's a good thing.
I know, right? Now, that moves us into favorite moment number 5. Everybody's happy. Everybody's been broke down. Everybody's kind of been emotional. And you get Rick and Michonne. He got jungle fever. He got jungle fever. I thought it was great, man. Like, you had mentioned it, Nate. You had mentioned that it was rumored that they were going to be a love interest. I'm sure it took a lot of people by surprise because it's not something that's written into the comics at all. But there they go. They've hooked up. It makes sense. They've been kind of living together. She's looking after Carl. They have the same mindset. They're both like these warriors. They're both strong. So, hey, man,
it's
why not?
Because I feel like Rick, maybe after dealing with the situation which happened with his past experiences, he kind of felt like, I need to have someone, if I'm going to care about this person, I need to feel comfortable that they can take care of themselves. And obviously, dude, come on, man. You couldn't have picked a person on the show that can take care of themselves better than Michonne.
Right.
So, yeah, this isn't comic stuff. This is completely... I feel like this is something the fans wanted.
A fan service,
I feel like
yeah,
it's
because
something
people
that
have been
they
talking
eventually
about
said,
it.
you know what, we're going to do. It's felt that way for a couple seasons. It's kind of got this kind of weird back and forth with him. Like, you felt like it was leading up to something. I never thought it would, because I was surprised. I love being surprised when I watch the show.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I read all the comics. So anything that surprised me, I'm like, all right, that's a surprise. I love it. This was a surprise. And it also brings up a point, and I wasn't sure I was going to mention it, but I feel like I need to now. Now it makes me worried. Okay? Now it makes me worried for Michonne.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to say, what do you mean? Well, Rick's love interests usually have a bad ending.
They get the
Okay,
boot.
something bad happens to him. So now I'm worried. Is Michonne safe? I mean, you
Yeah.
look at all these characters and you say, well, who really is safe? We know there are a few core group of people who are safe. We know Rick's not going anywhere.
Yeah, Rick
And
and
if you
Carl are
haven't
pretty
figured it
much
out,
kind
neither
of
is
locked
Carl.
in.
Right? Carl's not going anywhere. Maybe his eye is, but the rest of him's safe. Okay. So you have to wonder what's going on with Michonne. Is this setting up for something to happen to Michonne? I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit more later.
We have our theories about it, don't we? And we'll probably do a separate video based off of that later on in the rest of this season. But I don't know. It was cool. It was great. Everybody's pumped up about the Rashone, pairing of those two. Moving on to favorite moment number 6. And again, man, Jesus is Houdini. Right? They tie this cat up in another house downstairs somewhere. Daryl's watching them. Rick and Michonne do their thing, and then this fool breaks out, gets across town, finds out where they live, goes into the bedroom, and is just like, Rick, hey, what's up, buddy? We need to talk. And yeah.
It's set up. It ended, obviously everyone's jumping up butt naked, like, who's this guy in our room? This is, kind of weird situation. What I think is interesting, I think we're going to find this out more, is we're going to realize that dude was not unconscious. I think this is all still part of his plan. I think I don't think he necessarily wanted to be captured. I think he wanted to take the food. But once the food went down the drain, it was like, well, maybe I need to find out more about these guys. And I think we're going to find out why. I know why he wants to get to know these guys. But we're going to find out more. I feel like he played this part well. He played like, oh, I'm knocked out. They took him all the way down there. They looked him up. The whole time, I mean, instantly, I feel like as soon as they shut the door, he's like, all right, let me get out of these ropes. He stood up and figured all this out. I mean, dude's smart. I think they're still apprehensive of him. They should be. All the people they come encounter with are crazy. Something's wrong with them. This is a good guy. And I thought this episode set him up great. I think that sets the tone for what we're going to see moving forward. Next week's episode, I think we're going to see a lot more of him, the group getting to know him, and then eventually him leading to the place that he lives, which is his other town. That is going to start a whole chain of events that's going to be a big deal for this show.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm glad they finally got him introduced, and so far I'm loving him. And, so guys, that's it. We got, Rashone hooked up. We got Jesus on the scene, and, we know things are about to hit the fan big time. So let us know down in the comment section below, what was your favorite moment from this episode? How do you feel about Rick and Michonne hooking up? If you liked the video, then hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. We have some speculations videos that we think is going to happen later. So make sure you tune in for that. And until next time, guys, we're out.
See ya.